Welcome everybody to the KIMBALL HOOKER SHOw. I'm so happy to be here today with our two special guests. If everybody's logging on right now, just go to kimball.show. You can check out all of our entertainers that we've interviewed in the past, and we're on season 2 right now. I'm so happy to say, like, share, comment on this video. But today I want to get into it. First I want to say, if you have dreams, okay, I just want to say you have to make sure that you do not get involved with dream stealers. If you have a dream, a vision that you have, and other people might not agree with your dream, try to find people that support your dream, okay? Absolutely. I would agree with that 100%, because sometimes what's for you may not be for someone else. And so sometimes you can get involved with people that might not support you, but you have to find those that understand your passion, your vision. And I couldn't say it enough. So without further ado, I want to introduce my special guest today. We're going to get into the beginnings and how they became superstars, where they are right now. And I want to say Kyle, Caprista.
Yes, sir.
All right. And Jaquelynn Herrera.
Yes.
Did I get that right?
You did. Thanks.
All right.
It's amazing.
It's with the small stuff later, right?
That's the hardest part.
That's the hardest part. Okay, let's go home.
Yeah, it's good. We're good.
How are you doing today?
Great. It's a great day.
Excellent.
Excellent day?
Zero complaints today.
Zero complaint. You know what? Complaining doesn't help anybody.
It does not.
It doesn't do a thing, right?
No.
Cool.
I'm good at it, but it doesn't help.
It doesn't help, right? We avoid those people. So let's talk about the music. I went online. I checked you guys' videos out. I was like, oh my gosh, I want to book them. They're so amazing and awesome.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
So what does it take to formulate that kind of talent to get that good? You know, how did it all start for you?
I started very young. I started at 8 years old professionally.
Okay.
I don't remember a time that I wasn't singing. My parents, God bless them, were like, what do we need to do? They got me into a studio, got me with some great producers. I started recording very young. I put out my first album when I was 10. And this is before YouTube. This is before the Britneys and the Christina Aguilera. So we didn't know what we were doing, but opened up this whole world to me. And I started performing and doing shows at like 10 years old and opening for artists. And that was basically basically my entrance into the world.
Kyle?
Yeah, drummer by trade. Did the high school band thing and doing honors bands and all that, and then I made the mistake of not going away to music school right out of high school, and I kind of treaded water for a while, and got luckily funneled back into the local community colleges.
Okay.
And there was just such a unbelievable amount of talent at that time.
Nice.
Like, I'd say at least 15, 20 different musicians that I went to school with that still work professionally in town. And then that got me going, and I jumped in both feet to just full-time music career, and as backing up songwriters, doing studio sessions on drums, and then got pulled into an event band by a songwriter that I was playing with.
Okay.
And that got me into what we're doing now, which is the dance event band thing. And after trying on all the different parts of the music industry, touring and studio work and all that stuff, I realized that the event industry and what we kind of do in it is like that's where it happens for me.
Nice, cool. Yeah. Would you guys say, are you more like self-taught? Are you more like, do you read, or do you create charts for your performance?
I'm self-taught for sure. As a singer, I've had some coaching along the way, but it's all I love every genre, and so it's just soaking up the best from each genre. I think, I have a background in mariachi singing and singing in Spanish, and I just kind of feel like I pull parts out of everything that I love and apply it. Yeah. What about you?
I say my training is all relative. Like I'm a trained, schooled drummer, so I know music theory through the eyes of a drummer, and I learned to sing background vocals by singing along to records and all that. Right. But I would say to any aspiring drummers out there, learn a second instrument and take choir, because that was I I can't write or read like actual musical melody notation, which would be such a helpful thing if I could.
Right.
But I could sit down and play the big band jazz charts and read all that kind of stuff.
Right. So obviously it comes in handy then to have those extra skills.
Yeah.
That's cool. Right. How did you guys get started with formulating the band, putting the not just the instrumentation, but even picking out your band, your members?
So our band is Mercy and the Heartbeats, and
How did you get that name, by the way?
Oh my God, I think it took us a year.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. We're both, I mean, I think anybody that knows us would describe us as people with opinions, and I like to think of them as ideas, suggestions, but we both had spent so much time at the point in which we formed this band, which was 2019. I mean, really, we spent most of 2018 putting the band together too. Yeah. But it took about a year and a half to get it to where we wanted it to be. Okay. Because we wanted to make sure the first impression was a lasting one.
True.
And not, we kind of limp out of the gate and just do a bar gig and kind of like, oh, we're here. It's, you know, it's like, we're going to have one shot to.
There were very high stakes.
You want to make a strong impression.
Very high stakes.
To call in all the connections and everything that we had accumulated over the years to say, we have a product, we have a business, we have something that you can sell and that you can use in your business.
Tangible,
the booking agencies and venue coordinators and event planners, all that, you know. So the name specifically, we had played in a bunch of different bands, and just looking around, it was everybody's names were one or two syllables, you know. And I've always wanted to be in a band. Every artist I've ever played with, I've always been like, your name and the whatever, like, because my favorite bands like Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, you know, Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. Like, to me, that's like, you got the artist, you got the band. And so with us, I was like, what if we did that? What was that the thing we did? And so we gave her a stage name. And created the Mercy, you know, persona, which is just
me.
It's her. But
right. I love it.
Yeah.
I think I got inspiration from Mercy from Sephora looking at lipsticks.
Yeah, you did.
Makeup.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Mercy came by that way, because at first I was thinking Mercy and the Sinners, because I thought that would be ironic, you know, Mercy and sin, you know. And then we were like, I mean, this is how much we agonized over details. It was like, well, as sinners too, like, would people think badly of sinners? Would that come off as negative from the get-go? And we don't want to project a negative image from the get. So, I mean, then it just went down from there.
Naming a band's impossible if you don't want to get sued. If you don't want to get a cease and desist letter, it's very hard.
Right.
You know, we were going on to, like, literally going on to, like, the trademark websites and LLC, you know, searches and all that to try to find names and terms that could be put together and used kind of, you know, like fair use style, without somebody coming along and being like, actually, I've copyrighted and the Heartbeat, so, you know, or whatever. So
a lot of thought was basically put into Mercy and the Heartbeats.
Oh, yes.
Some would say too much.
Okay.
Some would say that. Yeah.
Some would say, I'm a very competitive person.
Okay.
I call it giving me motivation and fire. Right. But so it had to be the best that we could do, and not be, because we could have put a band together in a week, you know, and with how many people we know and the musicians we know a lot of musicians, we know amazing musicians, but we were very down to the image, the type. At first we weren't sure we were going to have a keyboard player, and we decided we needed keyboards, and, you know, so it's just like everything that we thought of to the colors of our logo were just very, very meticulously
so a lot of thought and detail went into this.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
Amazing. Okay, so the members in your band, how were they pre-selected, hand selected? How did you guys go about putting your band together?
Yeah, well, so the issue we ran into is that when you are putting a band together, a business really, that is not, you don't go, okay, we got these 10 gigs on the books, so jump on board, let's go. We were not booking, we were not promoting, we were not doing anything. We wanted we didn't want a soft launch. We wanted, like, there's gonna be a date, the band is gonna be announced. That's when the promo video comes out. That's when all the promo photos come out. The website is live. all that stuff happens on this date and not a second before.
Right.
So you have to convince these musicians to basically buy into the vision, basically to buy into us and the vision that we have, and the sort of trust that it's going to be successful. And with how difficult it is to stay afloat and everything as a musician in the Bay Area,
right?
A lot of the people that we thought about were like, call me when you got gigs. It's like, okay, fair enough, but those weren't the musicians that we really wanted anyway, because we have a 5-year plan, we have a 10-year plan,
right.
And so we ended up, everything we ended up doing, really, we kicked it around. Everything, the logo, everything she mentioned, the logo was designed by close friends of ours. Right. The website created by close friends of ours. The promo video shot by close friends of ours. Promo photos, everything ended up being in community.
Right.
And the guitar player is one of my best and oldest friends and musical collaborators since middle school.
Nice.
Keyboard player she's played with since
20 plus years.
Yeah. Bass player I've played with, for well over a decade. The drummer,
not our first bass player.
No, but our current bass player, who's the one I'm going to talk about.
Right.
Our drummer, we lucked into.
Okay.
He's amazing.
He's amazing.
That was so pure. And being a drummer first, and I sing in this band, and so that was the biggest conundrum. It was like, well, if I go up and sing, who's playing drums? Because that we cannot compromise. That has to be like,
and the level that you're looking for as well.
Yeah.
I understand that, absolutely. You don't want any compromising on that.
No,
right.
Timekeeper is everything. To me, timekeeper is everything.
You cannot hide a bad drummer.
Oh boy, you got a bad drummer, you got a bad band.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, before we had like our guitar player on board, we had tried out several, and we would get ghosted. We would they would bail, and I think the last one that bailed before our current guitar player Danny came on, I think you called me and you're like, you're not going to believe this, and I just immediately just burst into tears. Like there were literal blood, sweat, and tears over this band in the beginning. And he was like, I think I might cry too. Like it was so hard.
Wow.
It was really hard.
But it's okay. So it sounds like everybody kind of like is really tight knit with you. Your band, right? These are not just stray people out of Craigslist. I don't know.
No.
And, right. They hit home.
It's family.
With a family.
Yeah.
Exactly. That makes it really tight. Okay.
Absolutely. The guitar player, especially, like he's my brother from another mother. We're all very close.
That works. And in the music community, that's rare. Mm-hmm. That's a rare find, to find all these musicians, formulate them, put them together, and they hit home so much with yourself. That's because I'm a musician as well, so I know how rare of a find that is.
Yeah. Well, and that was the thing. We were like, the vibe has to be great. Also,
exactly.
It can't just be great players. We've done that. We've done that time, and you can't help. After a while, it shows. It bleeds into the music.
Sure,
it bleeds into the shows. So we were like, it has to be a great hang, because we're going to spend long days with each other.
Exactly. Right.
And late nights. So we all have to like each other and vibe well, and we really do.
Right.
We really do.
So how did it come about? How did you guys formulate your genre and like your set list and putting together your show? How did that kind of formulate?
The show is built around her because she's amazing. This kind of, it relates to what we were just talking about just a second ago, which is the part of the difficulty in getting the band off the ground was this feeling of, well, we don't want it to just be, the events industry, especially bands in this area, there's so much work because it's such a unique area. The operating distance, the different groups of venues, event venues and nightclubs and everything that you can play, within a 2-hour drive of here is pretty unique as far as the country as a whole goes. So you get a lot of bands that are just like, we're here because there's work to be done. There's work to be had.
Okay.
But for us, it's like she was saying, it's like, we did our time in those bands, and it was like, well, we want our thing to like stick out. We want it to be just different enough, hopefully not intimidatingly different. We don't want to lose business because of it, but it's like, I really wanted to have a lot of medleys, transitions between,
segues,
and to try songs that weren't, regularly done in other bands.
Understand.
And so that was the other problem, is like we're trying to put the band together, and it's like we can't just give you a set list and show up, because I have, you know, these 5 medleys that are in the set, and and I want to go from this to that, you know. So
again, blood, sweat, and tears.
Well, and it really, the funny thing is, it ended up, the first gig we ever did was, we were hired by, I did collegiate speech and debate.
Okay.
And they had their national tournament in Reno, and my alma mater was putting it on. He's like, and they usually just get a DJ. He's like, I want to do something different, so I'm going to hire your band. We weren't out yet.
Okay.
We booked that gig and another friend's wedding. We booked those 2 gigs without anything done.
Okay.
And so it really came down to like, okay, this is the date this is getting done, because we're showing up in Reno and we're playing 3 hours of music, you know.
Right.
So
never having been on stage, all of us together.
we barely rehearsed, honestly, and it killed.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah. We still have a whole video, like sizzle reel of that up on YouTube, and
Nice.
it's like, we don't tell people that that's the way it was, but you watch that video and you'd think we would have been playing together for 10 years.
Wow. Okay.
We walked off stage and we walked to the hotel bar, and it was like, okay, this will work. This is gonna work.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
cool. Well, so was that like a pre-recording? Did you guys do a pre-recording of that, or did you guys record it live?
It was just cell phone footage that
Cell phone-
people,
okay, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
That's cool.
people were just sending us stuff like, this is amazing. It was,
right.
you know.
I had a question. Do you guys use any tracks, or do you guys just do everything live?
We use tracks.
Yeah.
No backing tracks.
No, we do use
we
tracks.
do.
Oh, you do use
Yes.
backing tracks.
Yeah,
Okay.
not on everything. A lot of times we even laugh because we're kind of used to not having the musicians be able to fill out the songs as well as they do.
Okay.
So there are some that we're like, we don't need this track or whatever. But there are some things, especially with production, that are done on the new songs these days, like the Dua Lipa stuff,
right, of
Britney
course.
Spears. They all are using tracks themselves.
Right.
They can't get that all with just
Live
their live.
instrumentation.
Yes, that. So we do that. It's not in everything. It's not on any of the vocals. Vocals are all handled.
We had vocals for a while, and we've started stripping that stuff back because
Okay.
it's just doesn't sound
Muddy.
Yeah, I don't like it. But you'll if you look at the track stems, you listen to the tracks on their own, it'll be like Jackie said, especially on the new pop stuff. It's like they're sitting in those production studios coming up with these synth sounds and
Hard to
program stuff.
reduplicate, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's like, our keyboard player is amazing, and I think sometimes he almost bristles at there being keyboards on the tracks. But it's like, when we do "We Found Love" by Rihanna,
Right.
it's like that keyboard sound, when that comes in, it's got to be that, because you need people to immediately go buy
Recognize.
in,
Yeah.
and not be like, oh, they get to the chorus and it's like, oh, okay, I know this song. It's like that's
Right,
a minute
right.
and a half that you're sort of like, people are like, so
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense. You guys put a lot of detail and time. I'm telling you, people don't understand the time and detail it takes to get what you're saying. To get it where they're like, boom, boom, everything from the look to the sound to the vocals to the music to the segues that you said, and just bringing it all to life and making it sound like one show, one production.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, so I want to take a short break.
Okay.
And we'll be right back. I want you guys to log on to KIMBALL.show and check out everyone that we have interviewed, and especially our guests today, Kyle, Caprista, and Jaquelynn Herrera.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back,
Nailed it.
you guys.
Thank you to the City of Montessorino for their continued support of KCAT Public Media. The City of Montessorino has enabled KCAT to inspire, educate, entertain, and inform our community through the magic of television and digital media for over 38 years. Thank you.
Everyone, welcome back to the Kimball Hooker Show with my special guests, Kyle Caprista and Jaquelynn Herrera.
Yes.
Did I get that right?
Yeah,
Nailed it.
so
Cool.
good.
We're still back in action, Jackson. All right, cool. I want to talk a little bit more about like your social media. I was very impressed with that. Like who, right? He's like, I'm out of that.
What the beauty with us doing this together is we both have strengths and we both have things that we like. Like he he likes doing the set lists, and I have pretty much nothing to do with that, with how the set lists go together. He has no desire to do anything on social media.
Oh, got it.
In fact, most of the stuff that I post on my account is just her.
Yeah, so I have access to his social media, which everybody laughs about, because now the people that know us really well, they'll tell me like, I like what Kyle posted the other day, because they know it's me.
Right.
And I'm always reminding him, take something for Instagram or whatever. We have an amazing friend that's his friend. His name is Niaz, Kyle's friend from grade school.
Yep.
He has and again, the attention to detail and community. We went down to LA so I could spend a day of him just giving me like 10 plus years of his, he does,
he's got a whole philosophy. He has a restaurant, it's called Knife and Spork Public Relations, but he does social media and public relations for restaurants.
Right.
Including one in Los Gatos. I can't remember the name of it. So
11, College 11? Oh, I can't remember.
It's very good.
But
they didn't pay me for that, so yeah.
We spent a day, and he just gave me everything he could in a day. And I just have applied that. And most, really what it comes down to is just being present and having an eye for it and being thoughtful about it.
Right.
But it's all self-taught. Like, I am constantly learning how to do something. I'm learning, then TikTok, and I'm like, oh my God, do we have to be on TikTok now? And and I have to learn something else. It feels like right as I learn, I wouldn't say I ever master anything, but right as I get comfortable doing something, something else comes up. But I spend a lot of time on that. I've learned how to edit. I've learned all the apps and, all the stuff that goes into it. And, I think it also just takes having an eye and being creative and just kind of, again, thinking a little bit outside the box.
Right.
And to the point where I even have gone to our tech crew and said, okay, we need to do something with the lighting, because I don't want every picture that I post of us live to be in pink wash. So,
oh wow.
So like that's
a lot of
how,
details.
yes, that's how I end up like. And it just bleeds into the other things. So now we're talking about adding more lighting and what production can we add to our shows. So it's like it all works together.
There was also like a pretty seismic shift in the way that people consume this stuff when these apps and everything popped up. It used to be if you were in a band, you didn't have to do any of that stuff.
That's true.
You make show posters or whatever, and you flyer or whatever. And even when this stuff started, a lot of bands, I think, were just kind of like, all right, well, when we have something to promote, we'll post. And I think for us, we went into this with the philosophy of like, we want the band, we're selling ourselves, we're selling authenticity, we're selling our personalities. I mean, it's us. And so you want the band, we wanted the band anyway, to be a living, breathing thing, and not just be like, hey, come to our show. Right. Yeah. Hey, consume this product.
So
it's
mechanical.
Like, yeah.
What was really interesting, was we, even in the beginning, we were like, do we let people know we're a couple? Do we let people know we're engaged? Like, there was like that part of it even too. And we got so many people that reached out to us and said that part of the selling point for them was that we were a couple, that we were engaged, that we were doing this business together. So we decided to lean into that. And it's true. People, they don't want to just buy into your product or your service. They want to buy into you, and they want to support you as a person. Right. So like during Shelter in Place, one of the first things, how can everybody record at home? We're going to like keep putting out content. We're going to keep doing these covers. And I would like to say, I think we're probably one of the bands that put out the most covers. And we were pulling in like so many people and doing so many fun songs that we would never usually do even in our shows, because they don't maybe work, but it was just again another time to be creative, and we were stuck at home, so why not? And it also gave me an excuse to post. So.
Yeah. Right. So speaking of being a couple, how did you guys meet?
You want to do this one?
You can go. You can start.
So we were both the previous band that we were in. I was in it for quite a while. She was tangentially related to that band because, well, she was in the scene doing her thing, but her ex-husband was one of the founding members of this band. So we met in this band, and the whole falling in love at work thing. We just, the more time the first time I met her, I swear, the first time I met her, I was like,
We did. It was not.
just was not.
There was not immediate chemistry. Everybody like laughs about that. There was not. There was no chemistry when we first met. We liked each other. I mean.
Yeah, I wasn't like, forget this woman, but it just wasn't like, I wasn't like, I have to have her. But, you know, like you were saying before, it's like long days, lots of different. I mean, we did in that band. We traveled to Greenland. We were in the Bahamas. We like all over the United States doing high stakes and stressful but very rewarding shows. But you end up spending time together, and you just realize like it's like you're aligned on all these things, and I think it was a little bit of fate too, because at the point too that we sort of like went, okay, we're a couple, and that led to me departing the band a year before she did, and us really deciding to do Mercy. I had gotten to a point where I was like, okay, I don't feel like I'm evolving or growing or learning anymore. I really do want to have my own band.
Right.
But it's very difficult to leave a band that's working, especially as much as that band was working at the time.
Right.
For nothing. To go like, okay, I'm going from here to here just on the faith that it's going to work. And the universe was kind of like, you know, all right, cool. Well, here's your dream girl, and here's your opportunity to do the band that you want to do, and you know, to be a part of her daughter's life too, as quote unquote bonus dad.
Right.
You know, it's like the universe was like, this is gonna be really hard. It's gonna take a lot of work, and it's still really hard, and it still takes a lot of work. But it was the universe kind of flipping the switch for me at a time when I was like, I'm not 100% sure, like, what the next 5 to 10 years, 20 years of my life looks like. I'm not sure it's this, you know. So it's you know, the universe works in mysterious ways.
Yeah,
it's amazing how love comes together.
Yeah,
you cannot put a finger on it.
No, no. I mean, and for me, you know, I've been a girl growing into a woman that then turned into a mother in this business, and it was something else. Like it did not prepare me. I wanted to be, I didn't want anything to affect me. Like I nothing was gonna like, I'm a singer and a performer first. And I remember even a gig early on we did when I was pregnant, because I was married and pregnant so when we were working together. I wouldn't even like take breaks, and he would tell me like, sit down, like take a break. You're 7 months pregnant, for God's sakes, you know? And no, I can't. You know, I always had to look and feel on and ready, and no one ever gave me the permission to just be myself and find out who I was even outside of that.
Right.
And then having a baby was just like a whole other thing. And I was like, well, wait a minute, how do I do both of these things? I mean, Kyle was not the cause of the demise of my marriage, and neither was my child, but it was just like so much stuff going on, and self-discovery, and also being like, wait a minute, you can't be my person. You're not allowed to be my person. But it turns out you're my person, and just not wanting that to go away and not letting go of that. And so I mean, like you said, we knew to be together and to run a band together and have a life together, we were going to blow up the life as we knew it, you know. And so we pretty much did that. Yeah.
That's amazing how all that came together. I mean, some of that is like fate, what you said, it's fate, but then a lot of it is just really like giving into the notion of it's here. You know, how are you going to fight what's right in front of your face?
Yeah.
And we you know, I don't know if I'd say role models, but, well, not some role models. I mean, there's people both in the industry in this town, and friends of ours that had gone through the same thing.
Right.
And you look at them and you go, okay, well, they're as happy as they've ever been. They're as successful as they've ever been.
Right.
You know, we'll just try to ignore all the strife and hard work and everything they went through to get to this point. But we had people that we could look at and be like, this is going to be hard and difficult, but it's not the end of the world. And in fact, it's the beginning of this hopefully great rewarding chapter, you know, for us, and it has worked out that way.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Not to say we were not punished.
But that's what I mean, though. It's the universe every step of the way. Anything that I've ever gotten in my life, gone after, I should say, but any reward that I've gotten, any success that I've had, it's always been the universe being like, do you really want this?
Right.
You know, not to say that I've struggled or anything like that, but the universe has always checked me and been like, do you really want this? if you really want this, you're going to have to put this amount of work in. You're going to have to prove to me, the universe, that you really want this.
Right. It just fall in your lap like that.
Yeah, you know, and so I just have leaned into that. It's like, okay, every time we're tested, or every time in the pandemic, all this stuff that has, I mean, you put a band together in 2019. By the end of 2019, you have all of 2020 booked out, which for a first-year band is an incredible accomplishment. And then the universe goes pause, you know, and you have no idea if that work is going to reschedule. You have no, you're like, we got very lucky. Almost all of our clients rescheduled rather than canceling.
Right.
And then we had, I mean, May of
That's amazing.
Of 2021 to now has been a sprint, but. You know, every one of those things, it's like, do you really want this? Are you sure? Because you could get your truck driving license. You could get, it'll take you less than 6 months, and you'd be on the road. You know, so.
Got it.
Yeah.
She's laughing. I like that. She's like, I remember those days, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He threatens every once in a while. He can't go. He can't.
Right.
Yeah. Can't leave me.
Okay, so I know you have a lot of fans out there that want to hear something live. Something from you. Do you mind singing for us? Do you mind?
Sure. Of course.
Your choice. No pressure.
I should have thought. Let's do something together.
I don't have any. You surprise me.
You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy. Honey, I'll stay stoned on your love all the time.
Oh, the crowd goes wild. I love it. I love it.
Also not fair.
You know what I like the most is like you put him in check. I saw that. I saw that. He's like, you kick it off. You know, you run the whole thing. You run the whole gamut. That's cool.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
By the way,
I like that. The whole like, you know how you guys like. There's like this little sweet batter that you guys go back and forth, and I love it because it's not even challenging. It's like he's like, hey, you got this.
Yeah.
And he falls right in line.
No, he is my biggest supporter, and every time I start getting, he's like, well, the band is supposed to be it's a female fronted band. Mm-hmm. Like he always is so concerned about me getting my due, or
it's a male dominated industry, and it has been. And even the bands that have female singers, not all of them, but you look at the branding of the band, or you look who goes out and speaks for the band, or who whatever, and it's not usually the woman.
Right.
They're there I'm here to sing the woman songs. And for me, it was like, you're a force. People like you, like you're capable. And I didn't want it to be like, I run the band, she sings the song. It's you know, it isn't fake. It is authentically a female fronted, and I mean, we co-run the band, but it's a female run and owned band, you know. That was really important to me, and it's really important to me that people know that. Like, anytime, you don't want to see my face if somebody comes up and so you know, which one's your husband or whatever, like, the implication being that like she's there out of nepotism or something.
Right.
Like that.
Understand.
Like,
yeah, he gets very he's very much in my corner, and
support,
and he always, I mean, I don't need it from him, but he very much empowers me to like step into my power and be that. So it's been fun, because it hasn't always been that way, and you know, I've been through a lot, and I've come through a lot, and so it's so good to land here with this.
Right. Cool. Right on.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys have traveled the world, and you guys have been on a lot of big stages. I want to talk about, how did you guys get on Jimmy Kimmel?
That was me.
That was him.
Yeah. So funny enough, a buddy of mine won the Guitar Center songwriter contest, and part of the prize for winning that contest was a slot on the Jimmy Kimmel Show. And to his credit, he put together a band of Bay Area musicians, and he stretched it to, like, they were like, you can't bring 25 people, like,
right.
But he brought him. It was a very big band, and they were all Bay Area musicians, and I was lucky enough to be brought on as part of that, and it was a very, very cool experience. Very cool.
That's cool. What song did you guys sing?
He said it was an original.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, it was the song that he won the contest with. Yeah.
Cool. What was the experience like? How did the crowd receive you guys?
It's an odd experience, because you go and you sound check in this dark sound stage, and you're getting all your, you know, they're dialing all the sound in or whatever, and then you kind of like go to the backstage, and they got you cordoned off a little bit from the other, the guests or whatever. They don't want you wandering over like, oh, Charlize Theron's on,
Right.
But then it's just like, okay, go time, and you walk back, and it's cool. Like Jimmy's there to shake your hand as you walk on or whatever. But then it's like, go, and everybody that was in the studio, because his music room is separate from the actual like broadcast room or whatever. But they bring all those people in, so where you once sound checked to an empty room, you walk back, now there's all these people who are screaming, and you're trying not to like look directly into a camera, because that is not rock and roll.
Right.
But they're all over the place, and you don't really know where they are, so you're kind of up there, and you're like, oh, and it goes by like you like
So
float
fast.
through it. It's
Kind of an odd experience, huh?
yeah.
Pretty different.
I assume the people that have done it a lot, like the A-list, I'm sure that it's old hat for them. But
Right, true.
For somebody who'd never done something like that before, it was like, woo, blew my hair back.
Right.
Yeah, it was fun though.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Okay, cool. Where can you guys be reached as far as your website? Like, just we're going to do like a plug right now. So
Yeah. Well, it's mercyandtheheartbeats.com, and on Instagram, Mercy and the Heartbeats, and TikTok, Mercy and the Heartbeats, and Facebook, Mercy and the Heartbeats.
Yeah.
And we're very active, and we like to engage with our friends and people.
And we're playing a bunch of city concerts and free, open air public events. We're doing Redwood City, we're doing Cupertino, we're doing
San Ramon.
Brentwood. So there's a lot of stuff coming up.
Northern California.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
And
cool.
Folsom. We go in as far as Folsom.
Yeah.
Festivals, weddings.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh, yes.
Yeah. If you have a private event, call us.
Yeah, we it's funny because I look at our calendar, and we have quite a few public shows, but I'm like, if people actually could see our working calendar, because we don't post our private events.
Okay.
But we were like, one club I was talking to that wanted to book us, they were like, oh, how's this date? And I'm like, oh, you only do Saturdays. And I said, well, I don't have a Saturday free until November. Like, that's how booked out we are. Like, and I'm excited
We have a few. We have a few in September. There are a few open Saturdays if you have an event and would like to inquire.
Right.
Yeah, pre-November.
Sure. There was like,
But
there's
most
a
of them
couple,
are- most of them are
most
booked
of
at
them
this
are
point.
booked,
Yeah.
and so I was trying to get a couple Fridays, and so it was funny. I'm like, we're booked. So but we definitely have more public ones on the books. We were being hesitant about doing club dates. It took us a while to feel like we were comfortable to get back into
Small, smoky indoor clubs. Was
wow.
was a risk-reward ratio of like,
How many days a week do you guys play?
at least 2.
Yeah.
But it's coming up to be more, because corporate stuff is coming back too, so that means weekday gigs. And then
fundraisers and birthday parties.
Oh, right. So many
Right.
different things. Exactly.
yeah, and then when Mercy isn't working, I sometimes still jump in with some of my old friends that I used to sing at the Top of the Mark for years, so occasionally we still do gigs. And then Kyle will play, he's doing some singer-songwriter gigs.
Yeah, I
on
still do
drums.
studio sessions on drums
Nice.
and singer-songwriter gigs and stuff. So when things are really rolling, and you got the Mercy gigs, and then you got like she said, like jumping in with other people's bands to help them out on short notice or whatever, and then studio stuff. She's a studio singer,
Right.
and you start to look at the calendar. You look at, especially like starting in May, you start to look. You're like, oh my lord.
Yeah.
But I mean, as a musician, it's like I would not trade that for anything.
Right. It's priceless.
A full
Absolutely.
schedule is like,
Right. So
Yeah.
many calendars are missed by musicians. They're like, wait a minute, I have no gigs this week.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's a big deal to have a full calendar, or a full in our business is like a couple of days a week. That's full.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're very lucky, very, very blessed.
Yeah.
We feel very, very lucky to do what we do.
Right, exactly. Have you guys ever looked into doing any original music? Did that ever come up?
Oh, yeah.
Right, songwriting?
Oh yeah.
She has a whole career of that. And as a duo, like we've always intended, and we've started songwriting together, and our guitar player, he's a production partner and songwriting partner of mine, ours, so it's something that we have intended to do, and then every time we start to get rolling, we get busy, and so that's my one regret of the pandemic of actually just being stuck at home, is that we didn't get more of that done. But it is something that is, I think, forthcoming.
Okay.
Definitely.
We just have to. It has to get like pushed to the top of the priority list for the time it takes to get it done.
It's one of those things that it's hard to make that a priority when you're feeling like you're on the hook to. Because we care so much about our musicians, and we want to make sure that they're working and they're getting paid.
Right.
So we feel responsible for them, and so it's kind of like, well, we got to get this, we got to get these guys, we got to get money in their pockets.
Right.
So then it's hard to like put ourselves first sometimes in that, and that like that's not like high reward right away.
Understand.
So
Totally
so
understand.
that is the thing that always gets pushed to the back burner first.
Right, right. Well, you know what? So many things are to come with you guys. I already know it. I can feel it. We're going to cut it right now. I'm so happy and so thankful to have you guys on my show.
Thanks for having
we're going to
us.
have a part 2. We're going to have you guys back because we're a little pressed for time. But I just want to say, everybody log on to kimball.show, KCAT Radio. Like, comment, subscribe, and check out Kyle, Caprista, and Jaquelynn Herrera. I'm Kimball Hooker. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for having us.
You just heard the Kimball Hooker Show here on KCAT Radio. Explore all our KCAT original programming at kcat.org/radio.